Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Meaningful Motivations with Tracy Erickson. And of course, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracy Erickson, and this is video number 3 of my face reading series. So in this video, we are going to discuss what the shape and look of your nose can say about you, according to Chinese face reading. So stay tuned. The nose is a very prominent feature on the human face, and the shape and size of your nose can actually reveal some qualities that you hold within yourself. And since this video is really focusing on only the nose itself, this is not the full picture of your personality or your qualities. This is simply pointing out one specific thing that exists within your consciousness based on that particular feature. But your entire face actually tells a more complete and whole story. So you can go ahead and visit my face reading playlist if you want to get a more, complete glimpse of the qualities that you hold based on the facial expressions that you have. Taschen's Book of Symbols says this about the nose. The exterior of the nose, its shape and size, is as significant to us as its intricately winding interior. Cleopatra's nose, Pascal famously observed, had it been shorter, the whole face of the world would have been changed. Ironically, the possessor of the most head-turning nose of all, Cyrano de Bergerac, wins our sympathy but loses at love in an age before plastic surgery. And a nosy person wins as much sympathy as an intrusive rodent. By the way, that Cyrano with the famously head-turning nose is actually a nod to an old play where Cernak has this giant nose that causes him to lack the confidence to speak his truth. And so he falls in love with Roxanne and is afraid to share his feelings with her. So he has someone else step in for him and to read his poetry to Roxanne. But Roxanne ends up falling in love with the guy who stepped in for him. Taschen goes on to say, the nose's long biological development means that it connects our consciousness to the most ancient and intensely emotional parts of our brains, allowing an entire world to be recovered by the trailing scent of a Christmas spice, or in Proust's case, by a Madeleine dipped in lime blossom tea, retrieving the soul of one's past as can no other sense. The Egyptians understood that the breath passing through a goddess's nostrils to give eternal life to a deceased king would impart a fundamental reality, for the nose is like a forgotten portal to the archaeology of the psyche. When you're practicing face reading, it's important to remember that as you zoom into one particular feature, such as the nose, you have to also consider the rest of the face. What is the race or ethnicity of the person you're looking at? And how does that particular feature look in proportion to those other features on that particular face? So what might look like a big nose on one face wouldn't really look like a big nose on another face, if that makes sense. A person's nose can actually tell a lot about that person's personal power. And the larger the nose, the larger their potential. And in fact, in the book, Wisdom of Your Face by Jean Hanner, it says this about the nose. It is said that in ancient times in the Middle East, the noses of the young princes were pulled and massaged because they believed that no one could be king without a sizable nose. So if you have a nose that you might consider big, that is actually a good sign, showing that you have a lot of independence and ambition in your character. Now, if the nose is abnormally large, this could show a more self-centered and egotistical nature. But in general, if your nose sticks out from your face more than 1 inch, that shows that you are a trailblazer. Now let's just go ahead and dive into the different styles of noses and what that could reveal about you. While a larger nose will point to your personal power in the world, a flatter or smaller nose would indicate that you don't have such a focus on your power in the world. A person with a smaller or flatter nose is less worried about achievement and is more worried about their own personal contentment. A person with a smaller or flatter nose may excel or do well in team situations. And these people generally don't feel a strong need to stand out from the crowd. A bony nose would indicate a more ascetic personality. So it would be on someone who is not as interested in the material things. So if you have a bony nose, then you might be very idealistic. And you won't just be interested in money and your career, because your ideals that go beyond those material things will be your priority rather than material comforts in life. I found that to be quite interesting as well as accurate for me. I have a very bony nose here, as you might be able to tell in the video. But when you have this bony type nose, when it said that you would kind of be more interested in the idealistic life, rather than a career and money oriented life, that is so true for me. Because years ago, I actually left my corporate job and my paycheck from that job behind just to continue with my spiritual stuff that I have going on. And, it's brought a different kind of balance into my life. And I really don't even miss the money that I no longer make. If you have a turned up nose or a ski slope type nose, then this would show that you're a very sentimental person. So a person with this turned up nose will tend to be very generous, giving away money as well as affection. If you have a bump just below the bridge of the nose, this would indicate a person who has a need to be in charge. So a bump just below the bridge shows this deep need to be in charge might also make you feel very dissatisfied if you find that you are not in control of certain situations. This is almost like an irresistible impulse to tell others what to do. It's basically, you have to learn that it's not always appropriate to be the one who takes charge. So knowing this, it could help you understand your own feelings and behavior. If you watched my face reading video about Gypsy Rose and her mom, Dee Dee Blanchard, then you might have heard of this when I spoke about the very significant bump that Gypsy Rose has just below the bridge of her nose. A downturned nose would reveal a shrewd nature in a person. So this is someone who has sharp powers of judgment or are very astute regarding the situations and observations around them. So this shows up in different ways within the personality, But all in all, you can see behind other people's motives, and you can also feel very skeptic of other people at times with this downturned nose. Now, if the downturned nose will also cover a lot of that area between the nose and the upper lip, then this would basically mean that you would be showing skills in investment and money management. So this shrewd cleverness of the downturned nose can be extended into the finances if it covers a lot of that space between the nose and the upper lip. It is so important to remember that none of these qualities are positive or negative. They just are. And the more that you can learn and understand those qualities within yourself, the more that you can use them for your advantage rather than for your disadvantage. So don't take anything that I've said here as a positive or a negative. Just look at it as a neutral thing, something that just is. And it's only one part of the whole story. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button. And of course, if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, what exactly are you waiting for? Go ahead now and click subscribe down below. And once you have subscribed, you can turn on that notifications bell if you would like to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.